name's Jessica Ernst. I go by Jess. My business name is Ernst Property Advisory, and I serve everyone here in the DMV. I specifically look at Virginia as far as real estate is concerned, but really I'm here as just a messenger of God and, helping to help others in general. Like that's the goal.
Absolutely. Well, I'm excited to hear more. Take me back to how you got started in all of this and tell me how you got to where you are today.
Okay, so as far as the real estate is concerned, when I was in high school, one of my first jobs outside of service work was with a new builder out here in Loudoun County, and it was Miller and Smith Homes. And I was maybe 15. I was looking for a summer job, and I found it as a sales assistant in one of their newest communities near Dulles Airport. And little did I know at that time that when I was driving for my first day of work, I would be like driving past cow farms and just a lot of greenery. And then all of a sudden there was the airport, and I was like, where am I? And I'm driving down Waxpool Road, and it turns into like a dirt road. And I was just like, wow, okay, hopefully nothing bad will happen to me out here. But I loved it. I loved being in the model, and I loved showing people through the home. And it was a lot of new buyers who were working with AOL because that was the only other business that was really running out here at the time. So it was really interesting to see kind of their growth as a couple, or like some of them had new babies and they're, working for AOL, which was like a big thing back then. So I don't know. I really love the whole experience, and kind of it just snowballed from there. I didn't actually become licensed as a realtor until much later in life, but I always worked with builders and developers and looking at what you could create.
Absolutely. So you've definitely been around the block.
Yeah. And especially in this area, which I really do love this Northern Virginia area. I've grown up here my whole life and have a lot of great memories here. So I'm happy to be able to like help others understand when they're especially moving from out of town or looking to move into different areas of Northern Virginia, that I can be like, "Oh yeah, I know that.
Yes,
I know that space."
you're a native of this
Yeah.
area, to say the least.
Yeah. It does help.
So you've built an incredible brand around the idea of leaving everyone better than when you found them.
Yeah.
What does that philosophy mean to you in both business and life?
So I realized first when I owned my own homes that if I wanted God to bless me with more, I would have to care for and show intent that I love and honor everything that God had given me. So that started with our first home as a family that we bought, raising my three kids. And we were in the midst of selling my husband's company and other things that were happening that we knew we were going to move. But I was like, you know what? I know it's not like helpful to spend thousands of dollars on repairing or replacing a roof, but the time had come, the roof needed replacing. There were other things inside the house that I was like, we could make this better. And even though we didn't know where we were moving or when, I just thought it would be good if I could just show God that I have intent of like revamping this place, getting it ready for another family to move in so that I can then move on to our next adventure. And I mean, I felt in that moment is when it really clicked inside of me. Not only in business or caring for a home. I mean, it kind of the homes take on their own personalities in a sense, right? But then you think, okay, a person through my counseling and nutrition and helping people to lose weight. Ideally, yes, maybe we didn't get to your 10-pound goal, but we got close. And now you're walking away with a lot of good ways that you can help promote and keep your body healthy. Like it's not just about the numbers or what you look like on the outside. It's like how you feel and how that's going to carry on and carry forward in your life. And making you a better person, ideally, at the end of the day, not just because of your look or how much weight you lost or not. And again, same thing with my kids, moving on, right? Like then we have all the relationships that are like so important to us. And once I had children, I really realized like how much they were teaching me as a human and helping them to feel confident and secure and safe. And yeah, I'm human. I mess up. I didn't do everything perfectly, but my kids know that I'm here for them, that I love them, and that I will do anything that it takes to help them grow and become new and bright people every day.
That's wonderful. That's what it's all about at the end of the day,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, you've described your work and personal brand as being built on three pillars: business, creative arts, and wellness. How do those pillars connect to the way you live and lead every day?
That's a great question. So I think that you have to take all three equally, right? And know that there are seasons where, yes, you're going to promote and be spending a lot of time and energy on your business. And there's other seasons where you might have more creative juices flowing or want to get into more of a way to co-create with life. And then there's other times where, you're burnt out or tapped out because you've been spending all this energy, time, and effort on these two other pillars. We need that third pillar of wellness in order to continue to go and grow in the other two. Every day I try to incorporate the wellness pieces because I know ultimately if I'm not feeling well and healthy and full of energy, I'm really not going to perform my best. The creative aspect, I really do love just, I don't know, even simple things of putting a fresh flower bouquet or arranging maybe a little party or arranging a get together socially or the ballroom dancing, which I love. And I don't have sometimes in my life, like I don't have as much time to do that, but I know that it's a part of me, it's ingrained in me, and it flows into the other two spaces as well. So that's part of like incorporating all three. You'll have I think, a better chance for like a fulfilled life and success in each, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Having a mix of just all of it and not just focusing on one single thing.
Yeah. And I mean, the creative aspect, like you can, maybe it's not necessarily that you're doing ballroom or a hobby or paint or you're a painter, but you can create beauty and you can create even thoughts, ideas, or creating your own life, like let's say a travel plan. You can create a whole experience just by thinking outside of the box. Okay, like I'm not going to be scared to go to Europe this year, or maybe even travel on your own. Those are things that I know in my mind. I'm like, oh, that seems a little scary, or traveling just with me and my kids now that my husband isn't with us. I don't know. It kind of pushes my limits a little bit, but then I can find through those things, even if it's not dance or art necessarily. You're creating art in your life by stepping outside of those limits that we put on ourselves.
Of course, and also just kind of building that strength as you go along too. You
Hmm.
just get stronger the more
Yeah.
experiences that you're stepping into and conquering. I love it.
Yeah. Well, then I'm not as driven by fear. Then I can say, okay, yes, you once were fearful of this, but look, you did X, Y, and Z, and now everything worked out and it was great. So you can do it again. Or maybe you can do it in another part of your life that you're still scared of stuff. So it's just like lifting a weight in a gym. The lighter weights, and then you lift it and you get stronger and you can pick up the heavier weights now.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
As the founder of Ernst Property Advisory, you've become a trusted real estate advisor in Northern Virginia. What makes this area so special to you, and how does being a lifelong local give you an edge in the market?
First and foremost, I love the fact that I can help others either buy or sell their home and feel like they know I've got their back no matter what. And I mean, look, we can see the economy will tank. People will lose jobs. It's very scary. And when you're at a point in your life, for instance, where you don't feel safe in your own home, I mean, that's where you recover. That's where you gather with your family. Like that's where you feel safe. And for me, like being able to offer a way for people to continue to feel safe, even though circumstances outside aren't dictating that, I mean, that's priceless. And I will do anything for my clients to help them accomplish their goals when it comes to having a home. I think living here locally all these years, it absolutely helps because I can see like where it was, where it's going, where maybe the future might provide like certain services or locations and functionality for families and for people who are even coming here and they don't know what to do. I mean, the last thing I want is for someone to be here and then feel so disconnected or that they don't have a community. Like, there's so much community here in Northern Virginia, and I love being able to share that with others, and especially people who, for instance, like, are just moving here for the first time.
I love the point that you make about community because it is so essential when you are moving to a new place. You want to feel a part of the whole
Yeah.
ecosystem going on,
Yeah, and, like,
connected.
no matter what your hobbies are or what you love, like, you can find that here in Northern Virginia, and I do believe that the people here are just very loving and all-encompassing and inviting. So, it's just about connecting the right people at the right time and, with different activities that maybe even they didn't know they were gonna love, like bachata salsa. Like, there's a lot of a dance community here, and I love my dance community. Like, they're all just very loving people. So, I know you can find that in other industries and other things that you love to do, which I
Ab-
love.
Absolutely. Lots of fun stuff to do around here. Just
Yeah.
gotta peek around the corner,
Yeah, or
right?
I mean, look, there's so much nature, there's animals. If you love wineries, shopping, I mean, the even going downtown DC, and we're just so close to it. You can go every weekend and take photos if you're a photographer. I mean, there's just so many beautiful things to see and do.
For sure. So, you've talked about the importance of mastering the 20% that separates top performers from the rest. What habits or disciplines do you think truly set high achievers apart?
So I believe that high achievers are a special like niche of people, right? Like usually we don't give up, like no matter what. Like we'll see the challenges and be like, you know what? Actually, maybe we'll find a different solution. There's another way. So it's not about just coming to a brick wall. It's about, okay, how do we find our way around it or over it or under it? So I think that's one quality. And in order to get that, like you have to be very, I think, disciplined in yourself and know that no matter what comes your way, it's like a door, either that it's being closed or opened, and you have to find the opportunity in that itself. I do believe getting the right amount of sleep. And when we talk about discipline, like self discipline and self care, those are all really important for people who are performing at high levels. And not just physically. I'm not talking about just ballroom dancers getting on a dance floor. I mean, this all takes a lot of work business, professional, raising a family. I know myself as a mom of three, if I'm not waking up a little earlier than my kids and spending time on my breathing or in my faith, like practicing my faith and talking to God and having that personal relationship with God, then I can get sidetracked so easy. And it's just, oh, it's them and this and that. And then once I'm done with the hurricane of life, I'm just like exhausted. I'm not even ready to tap into my own professional day. I think that the sleep is really crucial. Having a direct relationship with your higher power is really crucial. I do believe relationships and having good relationships, like healthy relationships, and the people who surround you, that's also very crucial. So being very aware and understanding like that you have a team and you know that they're your rock, they're your solid. And whether they're helping you or you're helping them, it's like you know that that's not going to go away. It's going to be a consistent theme in your life when you have like really healthy and I think good relationships. So, yeah, I mean there's other things, right? Like staying nutritionally balanced, understanding your body, the blueprint of your body. I worked many years in integrative wellness and in nutrition. So I know I was shocked when I saw my own food sensitivity list and there were things on there that I was eating every day. And then I was like, wait a minute. I guess I shouldn't be eating eggs. Like,
All these different things come out and
yeah,
it's like what
right.
should we be consuming?
So part of it was also a transition. And I think as a high achiever, you understand that it's not going to just happen. Nothing happens overnight. It takes work, it takes strategy, and it takes consistency. And so it's the same thing. Like if you're looking at your health and you're looking at like cutting things from your diet, like I started one thing at a time. And I'm not going to lie to you, like I was very emotional and very angry when I looked at that test and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't eat dairy. Like, what? And lo and behold, yes, I can eat dairy, but I'm just not going to eat it every day. Like it's going to be a special occasion. But I had to get over that mental and emotional hump. And we don't realize, I think, sometimes how emotionally tied we are to our food and our habits. So being able to like pick yourself up out of your life and be a witness to what you're doing versus just being like in it and emotional. And it's just like a hamster wheel. You have to actually be able to like take a step back, sit on your own shoulder and just observe. Just observe yourself
Have that
first.
reflection.
Yeah. And not in a judgmental way. It's just about like, look, how much do you want to change it? How bad do you want that? Well, then guess what? You're going to have to like really make some changes here. And that's okay. One thing at a time and one day at a time.
Words to live by. So, beyond real estate and wellness, you have a deep creative side, especially through ballroom dancing and design. How does that creativity flow into your business and the way you connect with others?
Okay, so it's fascinating how much ballroom had affected me emotionally and mentally as I was learning. What I realized was like, it's okay to be the baby again. It's okay to appear stupid or to like feel like, oh my gosh, like I am totally messing this up and not doing this right. And the worst judge we are is like for ourselves. We are our own worst judge. So it got me to a place where I could mentally let go of that self judgment. And I think it's really important in all aspects of life to be able to do that with others because nobody's perfect. And if we aren't judging ourselves, we're less likely to sit there and be like, well, they shouldn't have done this. And like, no, it's not about that. So it reflects in my life in relationships, number one, and professionally, because like people have stuff going on in their lives you just don't even know. And, you always hear the cliche, like, be nice because you don't know what people are, but it's really true. Like, it's really, really true. The creativity aspect and then working with a partner in ballroom is also something that over the years, because I've had different partners and different dance partners, everyone has their own thing of like what drives them and what is annoying to them or whatever. And I think having that ability to get on the dance floor with a person and in that moment, like you can't really talk about those things while you're going through it. You're just doing the dance. And then you like reconvene afterward. And as long as the partnership is healthy and whole and that we understand like what the purpose of either side is, we can really sit and have sometimes a hard conversation. I mean, and in ballroom, I'm saying hard conversation, but like I'm saying in life, yeah, you're going to keep going through life and things are going to happen. And instead of just being reactive or whatever, like you try to just get it settled, but then afterward, always come back. Like the importance of coming back and being like, okay, what do we do that we could do better? What was it that we can fix or change? Or how do we revamp? And doing it in a way that's not like aggressive or that you're not becoming defensive about it. It's just trying to find solutions. And ballroom, like the whole concept is that every body is different and everyone's traits and talents, like where they shine, are different. So we want to show those, right? Exemplify those traits that are positive and beautiful and whatever. And then maybe make some changes to not hide, but just work around the parts that are still challenging or that don't appear well on stage, right?
Sure.
And, it is what it is. Part of it is the learning process. Every time I look at the video and some of it, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, did I really look like that? But it gives me an opportunity to then be like, okay, I'm going to hone in on this and pinpoint it. And we're going to just little by little work on those little things until we can, smooth out the edges. So there's always an opportunity to make things better is what I've found in ballroom. And there's no like glass ceiling. Like you can go as far as you want. You just have to work for it. Like it takes consistency and time and good people around you.
You
You
have to
know?
really want it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You have to really want it. There has to be a fire inside. I think that reflects like learning that part of myself through the creative part, like through the creative work that I'm doing. There's no right and wrong. It's whatever you initially want to judge it, but then at the end of the day, like you can always reframe that. It doesn't even have to be a judgment. It just has to be like, this is how you are. And so if you want to change it, like let's do this kind of thing. And let's consult with these people who are professionals and they'll let you know what can you do differently. Maybe you didn't think about it yourself, and that's okay. That's okay. We're all here on this planet like learning every day.
Learning, growing, and gaining those new perspectives.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you've launched your own podcast,
Yeah.
Glow Talks with Jess, to inspire others through your experiences. What do you hope listeners take away from the show, and how has it evolved since its first season?
Yeah, the podcast was a very scary thing for me. I was definitely, very nervous about starting that whole adventure, but I really love the fact that we can bring good inspirational messages to our listeners and hopefully add value in each episode that you're learning something new. And I really love the fact that I can give topics that are for everybody. It's not just about business or it's not just about health and wellness or whatever. Like, we're really trying to encompass the whole human experience. I love for that to continue. I love for my followers to walk away with some inspirational thing of like, if Jess can do it, or oh yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll drink water out of a straw. Maybe it'll help me this week drinking more water. Try new things, step out of the comfort zone. If I can have one listener per episode be able to walk away and do that, like that's a blessing. That's a real blessing. Yeah, we're going to keep it going. I definitely have learned a lot about preparation on the podcast, coming up with good questions and understanding my guests a little bit deeper than just the surface prior to us sitting down. So I do think that has helped. And we come up with fun little games and stuff too. So I kind of like that we're like changing things up, just being able to go with the flow.
I think it's super wonderful what you're doing with your podcast. And I know for myself, I'm excited to start tuning in. So you can count
Oh,
as me as a follower.
thank you. Yeah, I love that. I love it.
So, and another thing I wanted to mention, you've started hosting in-person workshops on
Yeah.
wellness, mortgages, home buying at your Great Falls office.
Yep.
What motivated you to bring these conversations offline and into your local community?
I always had done events in my home. And when my husband was here, it was a little easier. I felt a little safer to open my home for private events like this, like for the wellness or teaching, just more educational workshops of all different kinds. But now that I have my office location, I decided I feel like in person when you come to these, and we had one even for raising teenage kids. I've had other workshops for makeup application for women who maybe don't go out or don't have makeup application techniques. Like all these things that we can do in person, I feel like it really can impact our community in a deeper way. And I'm a human person. Like, I just love seeing people face to face and understanding them, understanding their story. So, yeah, the in person, I think, is a little bit more impactful than just having podcasts streaming online or showing something over a video. Energy exchange in humans is really essential. I mean, I think they say we need 8 to 10 hugs a day, right? For our overall like health. So,
I
like,
believe it.
this gives the opportunity for us to give hugs and to learn one another and be together. And, like, we're all kind of going through the same thing at the end of the day. And just knowing and seeing a person in real flesh, of sharing conversations that maybe you wouldn't if you were over the phone or a text. And then bringing people together who didn't know each other prior to, right? I've had a lot of people connect at my workshops where it's now become something like advantageous for both. So I really enjoy that. I enjoy watching it and being a witness to that. And if I can be a catalyst, that's even better. Then I've done my job.
What a beautiful experience to be part
Yeah.
of.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, looking ahead, what's your bigger vision for Glow Talks with Jess, Ernst Property Advisory, and the people you hope to inspire through your work and message?
I think moving forward, part of this is that I have to have, for me, I was looking at a way that I can harness my energy because I feel after my husband passed, especially, that I have this like fire inside of me that I want to be an asset to our community and to the world. So the podcast, sure, I would love it to be all over the world, and that people can tune in and maybe hear something that they hadn't heard before. For our community, the real estate and helping others, buy and sell homes, like that's very important to me because I've been through it myself and I've continued to go through it myself. And I know how hard it is. I know how hard it is, especially if you've been in your home for, let's say, 8 to 10 years. You have so many memories of raising your kids there. And it's an emotional, it's a very emotional process. So if I can lend a hand and energy towards that to help you heal through that process, like, that's what I'm really here for. And to help them to not be scared. That was like a big thing for me is to allow people, yes, like you have a safe space and you're going to feel all the feelings, but I will tell you, I've been through it. And I know that at the end of this, like there's light at the end of the tunnel and that you're going to see this whole transformation for yourself that maybe you can't see now, but it's there, it's waiting for you. So if I can offer that locally to our community where I know this area like the back of my hand, that is like where I would see my work continuing with the Ernst Property Advisory. So local and global, you never know.
Jess is your girl, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I just think that that's so beautiful, and I love how you mentioned how it is just it's a big event for people in that situation. It's a big milestone, and to have a figure to stand beside you and be there from the beginning to the end in the whole process,
Yeah,
it's
and
it's a good
after,
thing.
even for new home buyers, like I remember being that new home buyer where they're like, give you the key and be like, okay, bye. And you're like, oh,
What do I do now?
what's the hot water heater? Like, Yeah, so yeah, I'm there. I'm your girl.
Perfect. And as we wrap up, is there anything you'd like to add that I haven't touched on today?
Overall, I think that, and we didn't talk a lot about my husband passing, but this was a major event in my life and a huge catalyst. And as much as it pains me just to even go back to the time that I was walking him through that, I will definitely be forever. He will definitely be forever inside of me alive and offer that fire of like, what's next? And I know that he's watching from above and just very proud of my kids and everything that we've been through. So I do it for him.
Well said. And I know that he is so proud of you and watching down on you. And I am so excited for
Thank you.
everything that is to come in the future. And yeah, so just thank you for joining me
Yeah. Thanks
today.
so much for having me. This was really, really great. So.
Thank you.